What's up, guys? Turn this up a little bit because for some reason Subnautica has a tendency to kill my mic gain. So this is a 120-hour update. Nothing has changed as far as the alien containment here. Still got my aquarium with it's all the same stuff in there. I haven't found any new eggs. So it's all the same little fishies. Everything here is the same. Pretty sure everything here is the same. Like the wall planters are probably the newest addition, but I'm pretty sure I had those at 100 hours. Oh, here's something that I found. Picture frames. I didn't have picture frames before. I didn't even know that you could get screen caps in-game. So I found picture frames at a wreck. And so I put some picture frames up here in my my workspace. And I also got another carry-all for whatever good that does. So I put up picture frames and put in some pictures of various things. Went back to some areas that I've been exploring. So that's the elevator in the giant alien like orbital cannon thing. And that's the warper that's almost complete at the warper like factory, where there's also a giant skeleton, a leviathan skeleton. So I was telling you, don't ever eat the last one. There, so just plant that one. It's gonna grow again.
Vital signs.
Eat those two. There again. So plant that one. Eat that one. That one will grow. And 3 of these should be sufficient to that's one more than I needed, but whatever. Should be sufficient to survive on. The melons are also really good. But so I found that the warper factory, which answered so many questions. Apparently the warpers are not native, which would explain why I've never once found warper eggs. I've looked all over. I've gone to warper areas and looked all over the seafloor and set up sensor rooms. Like I've set up bases that were literally a sensor room and a hatch, with the intention of finding warper eggs so that I could hatch a warper in my alien containment over there, and I've never once found one. But this explains why there are no warper eggs. Well, the warpers are not creatures, they're constructs built by the aliens. As evidenced when you find this place here and you see the warper parts and the almost assembled warper, and there's like a giant kind of an assembly line sort of a thing. In the same facility, there's a whole bunch of specimens of other creatures. So I guess they were studying those and figuring out either how to build a warper, genetically construct a warper, or they were trying to figure out how to optimize the warper to kill everything. I don't know, one or the other. So, so this warper right here, that's almost fully constructed, is right there. It's that one right there, all the way in the back. And then here are the various parts, like there's an arm, there's a head. I don't know what part this is right here. And then a knocked over, like a big cabinet with a bunch of pieces in it. And then all these things are on this assembly line here, where there's little dangling claws. So, I mean, that was a cool touch. It's, you know, right when you think that this game is just about swimming around and catching fish and drinking water and waiting for a rescue. Nope, you find out there's a lot going on. And it explains a lot of things, like why there are no warper eggs and why the warpers are always around the, like, alien stuff, concentrated around alien stuff, or occasionally I've found them around wrecks. So I think they're coming to the wrecks to ascertain whether there is a danger from the wreck. Let's see. Well, this is just a new area of the acid kind of place underground, the acid caverns that I found. There's one area of the acid caverns that has a gigantic skeleton of some kind of a leviathan, and I don't know what kind of leviathan it is. It doesn't look like a reaper. It doesn't have like the kind of predator mandible things going on, but it doesn't look like anything. It's certainly not a ghost leviathan. It doesn't have a hammerhead. It's more like a crocodile. Has a big long snout. But that area doesn't have these growths here that are topped off with the glowing yellow things, some kind of a sulfur something or other. And then these are, what are they called? Brine lilies? I think they're called brine lilies. What are we looking at here? Yeah, brine lily. Yep, and they live in the acid pools. Not sure. No, that's not sparked. Yeah, I don't remember what the anchor pods. I was trying to remember last time what those are called. Anchor pods. Bulb bush. I feel like I scanned those once upon a time. They're not fauna though, are they? I mean, in the most technical sense, I think coral is... Yeah. The shuttle bug? Yeah, whatever. In the most technical sense, coral is an animal, not a plant. But yeah, I don't remember. I think I scanned those, but I don't know where they are. And then this one is the latest thing I have just discovered. This is a ghost leviathan, like hatchery. Done with some salt. It's a ghost leviathan hatchery. Give it a second to resolve here. There it is. So these are ghost leviathan eggs here. And this is further past like the warper construction facility assembly line. And it's a different branch. Like, so you go, there's one branch where it has the giant skeleton, the giant leviathan skeleton, and you go further than that and it opens up into a giant cavern. And the cavern has branches that go off in a whole bunch of different directions. And one branch is the skeleton leviathan. One branch goes to that warper construction facility. And by the way, I got lost there trying to come out. And I was trying to backtrack from the warper construction facility to get back to... I was in my mini sub and I was trying to get back to back to my my main sub, the Cyclops. And I got so twisted and turned around there, and I really did a bad job of laying out all of my little markers going up there, because I couldn't find them after that, and I ended up just swimming and surviving barely. I several times stopped and pulled out my thermo knife and killed a local fish and ate it while I swam around, trying desperately to find a way out. I was going to die. which sucks in when you're in permadeath mode. But I didn't. I found the way out, but I swear I went out the way that I came in, or at least I thought that I did. But when I came out, I was totally not in the same place that I went in. I found an exit, and the exit from the Warper construction facility was completely different. I was like at the far edge of the map. So there's another entrance, and I didn't map it out. I was just trying to survive. So I don't have any markers, any beacons. I have nothing. I couldn't find that place again. I couldn't find that entrance again if I had to. But there is another entrance that gets there. And in fact, that entrance is where let's see here. The bulb bush. So where all of these things are, there's an area like to the north and east where there's a whole bulb bush forest, and I came out in the bulb bush forest. It's where all the amp eels are, all the electric eels. And yeah, that's where I came out, but that's definitely not where I went in. So I wish I had like an extra beacon or something like that so I could have marked it, but no, I didn't. I was just trying to survive. I had intended to just go back the way I came, but got all twisted around, and yeah, that was the end of that. So that's what I've done in the last 20 hours. This is 120 hours in now. Go get a little bit of extra food, top myself off here. One more. And then we'll head on down in the mini sub. And I'll show you the progress here. So I still have all my
systems online.
My little markers here. Follow the trail of lights. Got them all set up so that if the laser beam goes out, I can still follow the trail of lights. And sometimes the laser beam doesn't render as close. Like over here, I can see that laser beam might be either behind something or it might not render as close, or as far rather, not as close, but as far. It won't render as far as the yellow light, the yellow glow from the creep vines. Clunk. So having creep vines helps. I've set out a few more here. To kind of make it a little easier. And I've moved my my sensor outpost forward. So my sensor outpost used to be just around the corner here, but I deconstructed it and moved it forward into that cavern with the juvenile ghost leviathan. I did run up to it and scan it. It is aggressive, but it wasn't going to kill me in one shot. It was just going to roar and come like straight at me in the screen. So, I set up beacons here and here. And then here's that giant skeleton. And then what I did was I found a nice little safe spot right down here. This is like a little Airwolf cavern here. Anybody who grew up in the 60s and watched Airwolf. There's my little Airwolf cavern, and I can come down here, and there's my sensor outpost that looks out on the don't get in the acid, looks out right at those open jaws. And then I planted a gel sack thing here for survival purposes. I also have 4
Welcome aboard,
in
Captain.
here. I have 4 bulbo trees And that's really all you need. And then like one locker just for whatever. That's really all you need. Oh, and I also put in a power cell charger so that I could recharge the power cells for my Cyclops. Because I have reached the end of the mini-sub's ability to go places and do things. So it's all Cyclops and prawn suit now. Now, that other area over here that I was telling you about, where you go all the way to the end and there's another skull here that's totally different, and I didn't realize that it goes up and out. I hadn't known that before. I thought it was the end. So I sent one of my little scanner drones up there, and I did find that, yes, you actually can go up there. It took a bit to find it. It's kind of hidden a little bit. You can go up there. That's an exit. And it's an exit to the Bloodvine area, what I just called an alien, like an alien landscape. And I realized the entire planet is an alien planet. But it was utterly alien. The Bloodvines, to me, look like nothing even remotely close to Terran. Which the creepvines do. So it goes up into one of those bloodvine areas, and so that's an entrance right there. And then there's an entrance back there that goes by the acid pools. This doesn't enter via acid pools. This enters just straight from the bloodvine area, and I don't know just off the top of my head where on the map that is, but bloodvine entrance. And then over there's the acid pool, or the lantern pod. What are those things called again? Anchor pod. There's an anchor pod entrance over there, which is where my base is, at the anchor pod entrance. This is the bloodvine entrance. And then somewhere over here is a, what was the other thing? Bulb bush. Somewhere over here is the bulb bush entrance, but I don't know where it is, because I was in total survival mode when I got there. Oh, wrong one. And so I wasn't mapping. I will do one more just top it off there. I was in survival mode. I wasn't in, oh hey cool, let's all map this out. I was just trying to get there before I died. So I've started setting up to advance things a little further. I couldn't figure out how to get a thermal plant set up here with any efficiency. Like, I could put it all the way back there, and it really was not very efficient at all. Better to put it over here and then set up one additional power beamer. You'll get a lot more power from over here. 62, 62. A ton more power than you'll get from over there. And just set up one extra power beamer because you're beaming it further away, and you'll be fine. So this cavern is thoroughly explored. I don't know what happened to that ghost Leviathan. It just kind of stopped coming out. For some reason, I don't know. I mean, it did attack me a couple of times, and I stabbed the heck out of it. Every single time, or if I was in my prawn suit, I was punching it and drilling it. But there is, in that direction, there's a bunch of those crab squid things. Some of them are infected. So, I mean, I looked around there, and okay, I didn't see anything all that interesting, so I backed out. What is really cool, this is really neat. I love this. Oh, one of these is infected now. I love this. Is the come over here and hey, what's your deal? And from a prawn suit, you can jump from down here up onto these little platforms right here, and a bunch of these stalags here have these platforms. You can jump up, stand on one of these, and look around. And there are entrances into these little caves way up here. And this guy doesn't like me. Those little caves there have lots of stuff in them. Tons. They are very definitely worth going into and farming up. There's a lot of like gold, the big pillar gold deposits Not the ones that you can pick off with your hand, but you have to drill them out. There's a mesmer. So I've started setting up my beacons here, as you can see. There's one there, there's one down there, there's one here, and then there's one more down here. My organic beacons, I mean not the mechanical beacons. The mechanical beacons are nice, but what they don't do is give you a sense of which one is next. And they kind of clutter up the screen even when you're not looking for them. So I think these are a little bit nicer. For my purposes, anyway. These are a bit better for navigating, finding your way there and back. And then over here, I got through this area here, got it all thoroughly mapped out and explored. And it gets dark there for just a second, and then it lightens up. You have these rivers of acid, heavier than water obviously, pouring out, and then a Leviathan skeleton here, which I've never seen before, but when I scanned it, the computer identified it. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's a thing. But I've never actually seen this Leviathan before, so the computer named it. So that was a thing. And then this is where I've parked the Cyclops for now, staring at that tree. Now, I was telling you I found that warper construction facility, which is over here. There it is. So these alien pillars mark the entrance, like they mark the entrance to everything. You'll always see these alien pillars or the little tiny obelisks on the ground that mark the entrance to stuff. And so after my debacle where I went in there and then I got lost, totally lost, and couldn't figure out where I was going. Stop it. Just go do your own thing. I went and got those light posts and then put together an arrow there. So I set them up in an arrow pointing towards the entrance, so that if I end up going in there again for whatever reason and I come out, I'll see the arrow pointing in, and I know from right here a lantern is visible right there. So, I mean, next steps, I'll set up another one of those external grow beds right here and plant some more in it. And then I'll set up some more out here, but that's all stuff that comes with time. It takes time to do all that, time and energy. And you can only do so much in 20 hours. So actually, what I think I'll do right now is go fill out this. Come on, give me. Give. There we go. And there's 4 in there. And this one, I think this one only had 2 also. So I'll go ahead and pick. I mean, as long as you get 1 lantern tree here, creep vine, I think is the actual biological term. As long as you get 1 planted in there, then you can perpetuate it. And this one might have 6. Not 4. sometimes it's weirdly hard to pick these things. And I think we're good from here on out. This one has 5. So I'll plop one in here. And then I'll check my last two. These two mark the left and right extremes of the entrance. There's my scanner base, my forward outpost there. It's my fob. And we got 6 there. And we got 6 there. So from here on out, we're good. All these are fully loaded. Wait, oh, there's one with 5. All these are fully loaded, so, or not fully loaded, obviously. I only have 5 there. And then from here back, these are the ones that have been there for like 20 hours of gameplay now. So those are fine. So I'll head on back to my my fob here, my scanner base. Duck into the fob, pick up some oxygen, or I could eat a bladderfish. Like if it's a real emergency, bladderfish will give you some oxygen. So I'm at 45. Whoop, I dropped it. It's not what I meant to do. And now it's gone. Got away.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Top off on oxygen. And back at it. Good idea maybe to keep a couple of bladderfish handy for emergencies. There's an air bladder that's like for emergencies that's supposed to emergency surface you if you use it. I've never once used it. I've never had to. But this one isn't full. Oh no, it is. I already planted everything. I've never had to, and I've wondered if you could breathe off of the thing. I don't know whether the programmers thought of that, but breathing off your BC is a thing in diving. It entirely is a thing. I mean, your BC has to be set up to do it, but you can put a secondary reg on your BC. Mine has one. So there's the Warper construction facility. So my BC, I've got it set up so that, I mean, you've got your octopus, which has hopefully an additional reg, but I've got the BC set up so that I can breathe off the BC as well, which is far more effective the lower you go. You're taking in more air. Not that you want to be drinking off your BC or breathing off your BC, because that's also how you get up. But you know, for emergency purposes. Okay, so I have done a couple of slight modifications to the inside of my Cyclops here. Keep turning the lights out, but every time I get in, the lights are on again. And it's draining the battery. What are we at? 89 now? See, we're at 85 now. Keep telling it, don't do that, but... So, I have put in a fabricator, radio, modification station, power cell charger. Not for this, because that's just, you know, a perpetual motion machine, but for the prawn suit. I don't know as the prawn suit charges while it's docked, but... So what are we at? 99. Ooh, that one's at 10. Do I have a spare one? No, they're back at base. Or actually... I should build a couple extra power cells. So 100, 100, 100. Alright, so we're looking good. But yeah, I've started getting this set up to act as a mobile base here, my marble melon thing. So yeah, medkit fabricator, battery. And this is basically all I need right here. This should take care of all of my needs outside of farming, and then this will be for my food and water. So we're all set up here. Should be good to go. Turn off the lights. Save power. Should be good to go for now. And what we're going to do from here is go check out this tree here, which I've been in there briefly, very briefly, checking it out with the sea moth. But then that tree, if you go down to the base of the tree, it reaches the crush depth of the sea moth. So I can't go there anymore, which is why I removed, as you can see here, I removed 2 of the upgrades, the perimeter defense upgrade and the sonar upgrade, because I use the sonar to map the entire place and figure out where the walls are and where the actual openings are. I took those out and replaced them with cargo, because there's no point in even using the sea moth anymore except as a shuttle. That's all I'm doing, is using it to shuttle things back and forth, more than I can carry in my inventory. So that's where things are. I really like that. There's so much that you can harvest up there, and these things are so handy. You can jump up, stand right here with the prawn suit, jump up from here over here, and then there's an opening right there. You can jump out and then turn around in like mid, not really air, mid-sea, whatever. In mid-jump, you can turn around and jump back into that entrance and then go drill away at those giant deposits. So that's it. That's a 120 hour update. I'm gonna go dock my sub, my mini sub, and get it repaired and recharged, and then we'll... Did I leave the... I don't think I left the beacon. I took the beacon out, or the drone. I had a drone that had gone up there and looked at things, but I went and retrieved the drone after it found that entrance to the Bloodvine area. I went and retrieved the drones. I had so many drones all over the place, they were really cluttering up the screen. I keep thinking to myself, I need to put another beacon, or maybe right about there, because that one right there is kind of disguised from the side. But I've been through here enough that I know what to expect, so it's not that big of a deal. I really love that warper construction facility. I mean, it was a surprise. I had no idea that they were constructs, like biological constructs, but now I know why there are no warper eggs, and I also know why they're always around these alien facilities, concentrated. Like even the weird vent things, like there are areas where there's just a big rectangle in the ground with 2 openings, an intake and outtake, whatever. I don't know how to say that. An intake and an extake. What's the word?
Welcome
vent.
aboard, Captain.
An intake and a vent, and they're 2. I mean, it's a figure 8 configuration there, and it's taking in water and blowing out water, and that's all it's doing for whatever reason. And there, all full grown. Two more. And those alien intake vent things that are circulating the water often have aliens around them, the warper aliens around them, which never really made sense to me. What are they defending? Or attacking, or whatever. Oh, yeah, I need to... Took some damage. Those little ghost eels, or whatever they're called. There we go. Alright. There you go. That's your update. Go take a look at my my base here. Everything's looking on the up and up. I don't need the platform there to dock either the sea moth or the prawn suit, whichever one is not in the moon pool. Don't need it anymore. But what's up, buddy? It's my mesmer friend. Just kind of hangs out here. Don't need the platform anymore, but once you build the platform, you can't deconstruct it until you deconstruct the building that it's on. Or that's on it, rather. So, alright. So that's the 120-hour update. I'm in the cavern. I've explored out. I've moved my base a little bit forward, and now I'm looking at the tree as evidenced all the important stuff. I've just to remind myself what I'm doing each time. No doubt. Just to remind myself what I'm looking at. There, I'm taking screen caps and then putting them up here so that if I ever, like if I go a day or two without playing and there's a lot of water under the bridge, I can come back here and go, oh yeah, that's right, that's what I was looking at. Which opened up a new tab here. This tab never existed before. And so, yeah, I figured out, after I found the picture frame, I figured out how to take the pictures, and now we're good to go. So, that's 120, and after I find something else, I'll do another update.